Where are we? The plane is nearly there. It literally, there we go. Hello and welcome to my first non-gaming video. This one's going to be on some of my fun with amateur radio. So today I want to get going on VHF. I've got the mast, I've got the antenna, but I want to get a signal. I want to receive something to show that I've actually gone, that all the trouble I've gone to is actually worth something. At this stage, I've been playing around with this setup for a week or 2 weeks, and other than a local repeater on UHF and a local repeater on VHF and some APRS, there is virtually nothing I've picked up. I've been able to hit the repeater, the 2-meter repeater at Canberra on Mount Giannini, but it's it's a struggle to get it. And I've decided that one of the best ways to get signal on VHF is using Aircraft Skip or Aircraft Enhancement. So here I'm using Air Scout. So it will work out the best zone for Aircraft Skip. So this is if I want to bounce or receive a signal bounced off aircraft or bounce a signal off an aircraft to a place. So here you'll see there's an aircraft there. It's not really much help to me because it's not going anywhere near my zone. And as you can see for Sydney, there's a fairly big zone. My actual angle of takeoff here is actually quite good in that direction. But you'll see, and there's the terrain map down the bottom here, but you'll see from the Sydney direction, it's got to get up over the Blue Mountains pretty quickly. So that also takes account of that. All right, now let's have a look. What I'll do is I'll spin it around. I'll turn it off for that direction, and I'll spin it around to RGL. So this is towards Melbourne. Now, up here it actually says its location. I've had to fix its location because according to the maps I've got, RGL isn't quite in the best location in that grid square. So let's hit play. And as you see, around here is the hill that more worries me. This one and this one. So there's 2 hills here at Wagga that are exactly in line with Melbourne for me, which means it's only a very, very small zone that an aeroplane can be for me to pick up any signal from there, which is concerning. It does make it difficult, and planes aren't going to be in that zone for very long, so it makes it just that extra bit challenging for me to get anything from Melbourne. If I actually change this to RGI, now RGI is actually directly down the street, and I'll show that off in the video that I've got. It's exactly in line with my street, and there is a much bigger zone where aircraft can be active. And as you can see, there's an aircraft there. It would have just come through here, and another one would have just come through there. So there's a lot more aircraft that are active in here. They do go across it. They don't go along it. So that means that any contacts that I get will be short in that time. All right, so we've also got here our distance to target and the angle. So 365 kilometers at 189 degrees. So it's nearly south. South would be down this way somewhere. And it's 365 kilometers, and it's got to skip off an aircraft. So it makes it tricky. Air Scout also has this wonderful feature here where you can tell it to start making noise and go crazy once it detects an aircraft that is within the zone that will help you for this contact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside and turn the antenna around towards Gippsland and see if we can actually hear anything. So here we are back outside, and now the trick of this one here is to loosen off this. Now this is rather difficult to do for me one-handed, but we'll loosen it off a bit. Not so it's so loose that it'll fall down. And now what we want to do is we want to point that antenna in that direction there. So grab my hand on here and we turn. Now for this next bit I'm going to need both my hands, so I'll stop the recording, but generally we are pointing down towards Gippsland now. So now we're back inside. I'll hit the play button. So both these aircraft are on their way to our zone. Now the next thing I'd like to do is I'm going to bring up the 2-meter beacons. So what we're looking for is RGI, which is 144.3.434. Let's get that out of the way. So 144.42434. Now it's disappeared off there, so I'll zoom out, zoom back in. And we have this running again. Now, there is an issue that I have to keep rerunning this all the time. It does tend to crash when I try to connect to it a second time. So we are going. These aircraft are getting very close. So here we go. It's coming through. So it's nearly as exciting as waiting for a satellite to go over. I've done a bit of satellite work before, and I think I've had one conversation with someone, barely got my call sign across, didn't get a chance to say what my name was. I was using a handheld radio in the middle of the bush, and bang, it was gone. Alright, so here we go. We are in the zone. Now, the other thing we've got to take account for is there is Doppler shift, but it shouldn't, Doppler shift on 2 meters shouldn't be too much. Now, let's have a look at how we're going here. We're not seeing much. It's in the zone. We're looking at 189 degrees, 365 kilometers. We've got 1 dot in our zone down here, and we're just not picking anything up. So this is what's been frustrating over the last couple of days. There just hasn't been any signals. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Occasionally there's something that could be a more signal, but it's too hard to tell. It's so far down in the noise. The only other thing that I could try is putting on the RTL AGC, just to give it a bit more boost. Turn the contrast down. Bit more. And as you can see, there's just no constant, steady anything. Nothing you could recognise as a carrier. So I've got one plane that's supposedly out of the zone already. So that went through probably the optimal spot. The blue thing there is the optimal spot. It's gone through the optimal location on the map, and I still haven't picked up a thing. Alright. I've got another option for beacons. Alright, so we haven't been too successful so far. Let's turn that off there. We don't need it running anymore. I'm going to flick over to 1RSB. Now, 1RSB I have not been able to pick up before, but it is a much shorter distance, only 150 kilometers. It's a 94-degree angle, so it's a bit of a different angle. Now, the other problem I've had here is picking up random noise along the way in that path. Alright, so here we are. I know I've got the screen shrunk down a little bit, but this seems to be my optimal spot. There, a plane went through before, and we just saw a carrier. So what I've done in FL Digi over here is I've narrowed the CW bandwidth right down to about 50 hertz. So we should get something. All right, now we can see the plane is in range. It's it's the guy on the pinky purple color. Let's just wait to see what FL Digi does. Let's see if we see the carrier again. We did see the carrier before. I'm hoping that we'll see it again. Where are we? The plane is nearly there. It literally, there we go. It literally came up for about a second and then disappeared again. So, as you can see, I'm slightly out by maybe a couple of hertz on the calibration, but I'm close enough. So we are picking something up. Being that we can just see something, it just proves that it's working. It's just that I really need to get a bigger antenna to be able to see something that far away. And as you can see, the signal is already dropping off, and the plane still is visibly in the zone according to AirScout, but as far as the signal goes, it's gone again. We're having a second go at it by the looks of it. Can't really tell. You can't tell. No, I think that's it. I think we've had our pass. So that's it. About 3 seconds. So it works. It's just not terribly useful. So I'm going to go and spin that beam around in the next episode and see if we can pick up anything from Canberra.